Hi, today I'm going to show you how you can build your own rear derailleur alignment tool. It's going to work pretty much exactly the same way as the part tool equivalent. So the parts you'll need for this project, um, so first off you need to print all those parts that are available on my Thingiverse. Um, Also, as far as the other parts, you'll first need this wooden pole. I found that at the Home Depot, and so it measures 31.71 millimeters in diameter, and as far as length, oh, I had a measuring tape. There it is. Okay. So as far as length, it's 42 centimeters or 420 millimeters. Okay, next up you'll need a threaded rod. This is a 1/4 inch in diameter, I guess, and it's pretty standard and cheap. You can find this everywhere. So just for information, it's 6.26 millimeters in diameter, and I cut it to about 20.5 centimeters. Okay, next up, this is the most important part because it's actually the part that's going to screw into the rear derailleur hanger. It was pretty hard to find, but I'll give you the model. So it's SBE 8.8, and the length is about 80.42 millimeters, and the diameter is 9.9 millimeters. Alright, and you'll also need a nut that goes along with it. And lastly, you'll need a machine screw. It's a 1/4 inch in diameter, and it's the H110, if I can see right. So it's an inch long, and the diameter is 1/4 inch. And you'll also need three nuts, 3/4 inch nuts, as well as 2 standard wooden screws. They are basically 34.5 millimeters, and so the threaded section is 4 millimeters, give or take. Alright, so these are the parts. The way it works basically is you'll have this part, which is the pivot. What you'll need to do to assemble that is, first off, you fit the screw just like that, and then you put it on the rounded edge like so, and then you screw the nut just like that. So this is the first part. Also, this part, I call it the carriage. Basically that's the measuring part of the tool. So there's an hexagon that's inside the cavity, so you'll need to put the nut right there, and in the meantime you'll need that machine screw, and you'll need to put it into that wheel. And also I printed a spacer just so it doesn't go too much inside, so you can screw that in just like that. And also the threaded rod goes inside this part, and you want to put one nut on each side. Alright. Okay, this pointy part is basically what's going to help us measure the distance between the wheel and the tool. So you can try and fit it in as best as you can. Just needs a bit of force, but it should be fine. Also, feel free to scale those parts as much, well, to make them fit as much as possible. Alright, and this is simply a cap. So the idea is you want to screw this part with those two screws here. I'm going to do it, but I'm going to pause the video to do that. You don't need to drill any hole in the pole, it's a screw that's made for that. And the carriage basically goes right inside. So I'll fully assemble it right now, and I'll be back to show you how to actually use the tool.
Okay, so the first step you want to check before you do anything is to verify whether the rear wheel is true or not, because it absolutely has to be true. After that, you have to remove the rear derailleur, and you want to screw the tool where it was. So you do that just like this. You want to screw it all the way in, and just so you know, it's a good idea to put some lubricant between this wheel and the side of the tool, because I found out that otherwise it got stuck if the screw was tightened way too much. So when it's all the way in, what you want to do is to adjust the carriage, and using those two bolts, you want to screw them on either side so that the point touches the wheel. In this case, so you want to put it perpendicular, right? As perpendicular as you can, just like that. And then you want to tighten those two screws so they don't move. Once you've done that, you can turn the carriage on its side and then move the tool. Now, moving the tool is quite delicate because you don't want the whole thing to move. You just want the wheel to stay in place and this big blue part to move. So the wheel has to stay at the same place, but the tool has to turn so that you have the same amount of pressure on the rear derailleur. Now, you want to go here, and then you check if you're at the right distance. So here, I can see that I'm not quite there yet. So I need to bend the rear derailleur just a bit again. I'm almost there. Just a tad. That's pretty good. So now you want to do the same thing for all the way, like for all four sides. So here I'm good, and I'm going to go check on this side. Still have to watch out for this wheel. And yeah, I'm perfect. So now I know that the rear derailleur is totally aligned. That's it.